You have participated in the negotiations for truces. Do ceasefires or truces, whatever you want to call them, do they spread? Do they have a life of their own? Do people have a small period of exaltation and so everybody stops fighting for longer? Or do the troops just rearrange and remaneuver and resupply and go back at it?
Well, we normally call it a truce because a ceasefire has some sort of legal context behind it. It is sort of set within a legal framework, whereas a truce, or in the Arab expression, a hudna, which dates back to the time of the Prophet, is just time out. Now, what happens is most of the truces I've been involved with, the parties have been repositioning for the next round of fighting. And it is time up. And my efforts were really to try and see if there was any chance of moving towards a more political, if you like, strategy. Mostly that didn't occur. The truces broke down. They're very easy to break down. One of them broke down just from one statement by a senior Israeli general, and the thing collapsed. Another one broke down because an extraneous group put a bomb on a bus in Jerusalem, and that destroyed that. Another one broke down because Israel dropped a 1-ton bomb on the main negotiator I was dealing with, even though they know the negotiations were in progress. So, I mean, everyone is maneuvering to try and get, if you like, psychological advantage, not necessarily, this is... it's not tied to a political outcome. That's the point. Ceasefire is tied to a political outcome. A truce is just what it says. It is time out for a specified number of days. It could be a little longer, but there is no legal element to it. And then it's very easy for it to come apart. In my experience, it nearly all does. And why I say this point about your point about does it spread, it's really important that quite often I was asked by the European Union, the High Representative, and said, try and get quiet in Bethlehem. Just at least try and sort of establish, if you like, a lily pad of quiet in Bethlehem, even though, and I said, it doesn't work like that. And of course, it didn't work like that, because you can have quiet in Bethlehem, and then the Israelis will go into Hebron and kill a number of Palestinians, and then the whole of the Palestinian territories would be in an uproar. You can't, if you like, compartmentalize and say, we'll have quiet here, and then we won't. And the point here is that Israel has a number of open fronts. And as you mentioned, I mean, it's not just Gaza. It's what's happening in West Bank. It's what's happening in the north of Lebanon. It's what's happening in an indirect way from Yemen, and even what's happening in Iraq indirectly. So any one of those, if they are mishandled or deliberately escalated, can destroy a truce easily.